everyone. My name is Liz Talbert, and I'm the Executive Director at the Alliance for Safe Kids. And I'd like to welcome you to Walk the Talk's third webinar Wednesday. Tonight's webinar is Be the Change, using volunteerism as a tool to connect, grow, and make a positive impact on your community and life. This evening's presentation will be presented by Jessica Friedlander of Volunteer New York. And before I turn things over to Jessica, I'd like to share a few housekeeping items with you. The webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to you along with the resources that Jessica has provided and a quick survey that will help us in planning future presentations. And the chat room that you see on the right of your screen will remain set to public throughout the presentation. You may enter all of your questions there, and Jessica will answer them at the end of the presentation. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Jessica Friedlander of Volunteer New York.
Hi, thank you, Liz, and hi, everyone. Welcome to the presentation. Before we start, I just want to, number one, thank Alliance for Safe Kids for allowing me to speak about thoughtful service and volunteerism. It's really great. And then also, I want to direct your attention to the chat. We're going to have the chat room open throughout the presentation. So if you have any questions, any stories you'd like to share, anything at all, any messages, just feel free to put them in the chat there, and we'll address them after the presentation. And we also have another tab for a poll, and we're doing a fun poll today about what your favorite volunteering activity is. And I see everyone's starting to answer. So just answer what your favorite activity is throughout the presentation, and we'll see at the end which one wins. So it's really great to talk to you guys today. I am discussing Be the Change. This is what our presentation is about. It's really what we want to discuss is about how you can be the change, making an impact in your community. So let's see if we can turn this presentation on real quick. Awesome. Okay, so as Liz mentioned, that we call this Be the Change. We want to talk about how you can make a positive impact in your community. This quote might be something that a lot of people see. It's by Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. This is kind of like our motto for volunteerism. We really want to promote the idea that if you want to see something in your community, if you want to see positive changes or make an impact, you really have to be the one to step up and make that change. And side note, Gandhi never actually said these words in this order, but the gist is the same. So we really like this motto, so we're gonna go with it today and talk about how you can make a positive impact in your community. A little bit about Volunteer New York. So I'm actually at our office for the first time in several months. You can see some fun things behind me. Volunteer New York is a nonprofit organization of 14 strong, and we are located in Tarrytown, New York. We cover the entire lower Hudson Valley. So Westchester County, Rockland County, and Putnam County is really our service area. We like to kind of call ourselves matchmakers of sorts. We like to support the nonprofits in our community and inspire do-gooders to help out at those nonprofits. So really taking positive action to address challenges in your community, supporting the nonprofits in that area, and ultimately improving the quality of life in our neighborhoods. We think this is really important. These are our missions. And we help everybody. We believe everyone can serve. As you can see with the poster behind me, some of our other mottos. We help anyone from individuals, families, companies even, to volunteer locally. And we do this by helping match them based on their skills and their interests and goals and where they work, where they live. We want to try to find volunteer opportunities that are really close to where people are. And so it's not a burden to go there and to help out. And it also helps their communities directly. It gives them more of that connection to those communities. So this is a really interesting question that I got. Why volunteer? So during one of my first presentations ever at a school, to middle school students rather, I asked the question, why do people volunteer? And I had one very sassy 7th grader who shall remain nameless, really great kid. His hand shot up and he said, oh. And I said, oh, you, why do you think you want to volunteer? And he said, no, why would I volunteer? I'm not getting paid. And this set me back a little bit. I said, oh my goodness, how much are you getting paid as a 7th grader anyway? Do you have some sort of side hustle going on that we don't know about. But all jokes aside, he had a really good point. Why would anybody volunteer? It's a lot of work. You have to show up on time. You put in hard work. You have to work with a team. It's kind of like a job, right? So why would you do it if you're not getting paid? By definition, volunteering is kind of work that you do, but for free. So why would you do that? And so his question's a really good one, and I like to address it in a lot of my presentations. And honestly, you do get paid. It might not be in money, but it's with other things. There are a lot of reasons to volunteer. So the first thing, and probably the most obvious, is you volunteer to benefit your community and your neighborhood. And there are a lot of ways that you can do that. There are many underserved populations in your community that volunteering is actually helping those populations. You're helping nonprofits in your area continue to provide their services and their programs for free, so that the people who might not be able to afford them can actually go and attend those programs and learn more and get better. And ultimately, your neighborhood and your communities are getting better. It's proven to improve educational performance and school retention in youth. So when kids volunteer, they're more active in their communities, they're more devoted to the activities that they're doing, and they end up staying in school longer and learning more. And volunteers who aren't kids are helping those kids to learn about the activities that they're doing and to learn really important lessons. It's also helping to build stronger and safer, more united neighborhoods. This is something we all want. And it's promoting civic engagement. So getting out there, being active, making your voice heard. We are in an election year right now. In a couple of weeks, we'll be all voting. So it's really important to get used to getting out and volunteering and being active and really representing your neighborhood and representing your voice. So those are reasons why volunteering helps your community. And now there's some ways too that volunteering can help you personally. And this is something that a lot of people don't realize, but volunteering is really good for your health, like your mental health and your physical health. According to the Mayo Clinic, volunteers experience 6 distinct health benefits. And I love talking about this because it's something that makes you feel good, and it literally makes you feel good. You have a decreased risk of depression, for instance, greater sense of purpose, increased physical and mental activity, reduced stress levels, more relationships, and social interaction. Those are really good reasons why you should volunteer. And I think there was a last point that might have gotten cut off, but ultimately volunteers live longer. So we love talking about that because you volunteer, you give back into the community, and it's ultimately helping you really like feel that love, feel that energy, and it's promoting a longer life. So who doesn't like that? Now, a lot of people ask, okay, but, I don't have a lot of time, or, you really want just like adults volunteering or strong people, right, to lift boxes and do things like that. We want to make a point that everybody can serve, literally everyone. And you can see here, one of our mottos, everyone can serve. So who can serve? So one of the biggest things, young kids. You might not think that volunteering is something that a little kid can do, but really kids can volunteer. Some of the best projects for little kids are going out into the parks and doing garbage cleanup. They can pick up little candy wrappers and put it into a bag. That's a very easy, family-friendly activity, and kids can do it with the help of grown-ups, of course. Families and friends, if you have a group or you have your family you want to go out, you can all volunteer together. It can be a team effort. Students and interns really, really benefit from volunteering. We'll talk about this a little bit later in the presentation, but there are a lot of things that students and interns can gain from volunteering. Individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities can volunteer. I am wearing an orange bracelet that we call our VOLO bracelet. VOLO stands for Volunteering Locally. And these bracelets were made by some of our volunteers from our RISE program, which is a program that serves individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They sit at the table I am sitting at. They take this twine and these little rings, and they put together bracelets for us that we then hand out to inspire others to volunteer. It's a really great activity, very hands-on. They can socialize, and it's something that's great for a group, and it's really fun to do. And anything that gets people out volunteering is something that they can do together. This is really great. Excuse me, individuals who need to fulfill court-ordered service hours, they can also volunteer. You need a certain number of hours. You can go out and do something. You can work at a food pantry, any type of thing that you'd like to do, you can volunteer as well. Job seekers and unemployed individuals can volunteer. We'll talk about this a little bit later too. But just because you're not getting paid, you might be in between jobs. Volunteering is actually really important for you. This is what I did when I was in between jobs about a year and a half ago. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Business professionals and employees can volunteer. We work with a lot of employee groups. A lot of teams want to get together with their colleagues, get out of the office and volunteer. They can do that as well. Retirees and seniors, we have a great program for them. We'll talk a little bit more about how older adults can volunteer. And literally anyone who has time and energy to spare, even if you have a half hour or if you have 30 days or 30 years, you can volunteer as little or as often as you'd like. So first, I want to talk about some major groups of people who volunteer. One of the most common groups of people who volunteer are youth. We see a lot of kids, a lot of students, and there are a lot of great reasons why they volunteer. Even though they don't get paid, like that 7th grader pointed out, here's why it's so important to get out if you're young. You can fulfill your community service requirements for school, complete some internship or leadership projects. Really great reason to get out there and fulfill those internships, learn new skills. You can explore potential career paths. And I really like this one because my boss actually has a great story about a volunteer who really wasn't sure what direction she wanted to go in. And so, whether she wanted to do law or wanted to be a doctor, she wasn't really sure. And so she volunteered at a clinic, had some activities and realized, okay, maybe like the sight of blood is not something I'm into. So perhaps being a doctor was not the right career for her. So she didn't have to spend money on medical school or law school to determine which direction she wanted to go in. She just volunteered for a little bit and kind of got the feel of what path she wanted to do. And that really helped her choose her direction. So volunteering can be really beneficial in that way. You can also learn new skills and hobbies if you want to pick up a hobby, or if you want to really get better at, say, speaking in front of an audience, then volunteering can help you do that. If you pick the right project that kind of gets you out and talking and maybe being an advocate for children or some other group, you can kind of develop those skills, and those are really important for you to have. Find group activities for families and friends. Sometimes you just want to get out with your family or your group of friends, and you can just like say, hey guys, let's do something together. Let's volunteer. We're getting out, we're spending time together, but we're also helping the community. So that's really a fun reason to do that too. You can make new friends. If you're new in an area, new to a school, and you're not sure who's around and you want to get to know people, volunteering is a great way to do that as well. And ultimately have a story that you can share with class assignments and big essays. Everybody has an essay that they're told they have to write, right? When you're at school and your teacher says, okay, tell me something that you've experienced, write this big 10-page essay. And what are you going to talk about? So volunteering gives you a lot of that experience, a lot of storytelling, and you can really utilize that to your benefit for a school. At Volunteer New York, we actually have a lot of programs for youth. So I do want to take some time to talk about them because I feel like this would be really important to know. We have a lot of resources. One of the best resources you can go if you're under 18 and you're looking for ways to volunteer is to our Youth and Family Volunteer page. This basically takes every opportunity that's been in our calendar. We actually list a lot of volunteer projects, everything that's marked that's good for students or for youth under the age of 18 gets pulled into a separate page, and you can actually really easily find projects for yourself there. So if you do have to complete community service, or if you're just interested in taking your friends out and doing a small group activity, you can go to that page and you'll find all volunteering activities in one easy to find location. We also, for those who are tech savvy, we have a youth volunteer guidebook. This is a mobile app. It's for Android or Apple phones. You can download it. Not only do we have a directory of nonprofits that often work with youth, but we also feature news and articles every single week talking about what's going on in the communities. Last week, we actually wrote an article about Election Day, and you can't vote if you're under 18, but there's a lot of other stuff that you can do. So the Youth Guidebook is a really great resource for getting that information and getting inspiration and seeing spotlights on other teens and other youth that are really doing good things in their communities. It's a great way to stay connected and to kind of see what's going on in the area. And it's all at your fingertips on your mobile phone. We also do these presentations called Be the Change, geared towards schools. So we will do now virtual presentations, or in the past, we did them in person, and we would go and talk to students and to classes about how they can be the change and how they can really make an impact in their communities. And it's a really fun way to talk to everyone. I always love to start these presentations with, hey, what did you do recently that's a volunteer activity? Or if you haven't volunteered, what's something that you really would love to do? And that's a great way to get students to open up and just really think about things that they've done to volunteer. And I guarantee you, before the age of 10, you have done something to volunteer, whether you've helped your parents clean out their kitchen cabinets so you can donate cans to a food pantry, or if you helped your best friend's little brother with his homework and you did some like tutoring and mentoring. Those are all volunteering activities. So this is a really great presentation for your class to kind of get everybody interested in volunteering and see what they can do and what they've already done to volunteer and help benefit their communities. Camp Volo is a brand new thing that we did this summer. We're hoping to bring it back next summer. As you remember, VOLO means volunteer locally. So we did this 2-week-long virtual summer camp. It actually lasted all summer, and we sent campers activity books of projects that would last them for a full 2 weeks, and they can do it. They could have stretched it out as long as they wanted. So if you wanted to take 2 months to do the projects, you could take 2 months. If you wanted to do them in 2 days, you could do them in 2 days. But it was really helpful for elementary and middle and high school students to really do their own self-directed projects. Everything was virtual. You could do everything at home. And we had weekly sessions on Zoom with our VOLO camp counselors. So if you had questions, if you had project ideas, this was a great way to get in touch with one of our camp counselors and kind of discuss it, and then talk to the other campers about it too. We also had special capstone projects, and everybody at the end got a really cool certificate of completion. I even got a certificate just for being a member of Volunteer New York. It's at my desk right now. I should have brought it in for you guys to see. But it's a really, really fun program. And so hopefully we'll be doing it next year in the summer. So keep a lookout for our virtual summer camp. And then lastly, we do a program called JRTV Youth. JRTV is something I'll be talking about in a little bit. JRTV stands for Job Readiness Through Volunteerism. And we typically do workshops for older students and for adults. But now we do a program that we're geared towards high school students. And it's all about, how you can learn the skills that you need to learn to get ready for your career. We do workshops, we do mock interviews, we take a look at your resume and your cover letter and give you lots of tips. So these are really great workshops that we can do to kind of prepare you. So all of these programs are fantastic for youth. And I guarantee you'll find something useful there, and you can all find it all at our website at volunteernewyork.org/youth. We'll be sending around a page at the end of the presentation or after the presentation with all the links that we mentioned here. But these are really great programs to do for kids. And then finally, I want to talk about projects for youth. So you can do anything really to help your community, but some of the most popular or some of the most useful: tutoring other students, park cleanups. There's a lot of parks out there that just need cleaned up, especially after storms. All the trash gets washed up from like the beaches and everything, and they just need a lot of help to save the environment. You can do friendly calls where you are calling, say, a senior who might be a little bit lonely or isolated, and just have a 20-minute chat with them once a week to kind of stay in touch with them, make sure they're doing okay. If they can't see their families due to COVID or something else, it's a good way to just kind of stay in touch. We even have a program called Tech Savvy Teens. So if you know Zoom and you're comfortable with it and you are patient, you can help a senior or older adult learn Zoom too and kind of tutor them. And then finally, you can do a letter writing project where you create art and cards and letters that are kind of inspirational and positive, and send that to seniors or to veterans and really thank them for their service, or just say, hi, hope you're having a good day. And that's a really nice project that you can do at home from the safety of your home with your own materials, your own construction paper and markers. But they're fun projects. They count as volunteering, and it's a great way to share and connect with people all around your community. I mentioned before about job seekers. Job seekers really can benefit from volunteering. As you can see here, you sharpen up your skills, build up job experience, fill gaps in resumes, in unemployment, learn about other opportunities. You can network with people, meet new references or potential references. I actually did this too in between jobs last year, or about a year and a half ago. I volunteered, and I kind of did some cool projects in between. You know, I worked at a park and I launched their social media. They did not have a social media page. So I was able to, you know, for the few months that I was unemployed, I was able to keep my skills sharp and also contribute to this great area, that this nonprofit that needed a little bit of help and a little bit of attention and people to come into the park and help, you know, keep it clean and stuff. So it's a really great way to show that you're spending your time not only doing something productive, but you're building your skills and you're giving to the community. And a lot of employers love to see that. They love to see this devotion and that you're reliable and that you've done something good just for the goodness out of your own heart. But it also benefits you. Side note, like you get to you know, fill gaps on your resume and build, you know, all these great skills. So it's really important for job seekers to make sure that they're volunteering and staying active in their communities. Some programs that we do, I mentioned JRTV, so Job Readiness Through Volunteerism. These are workshops that we offer for job seekers at unemployment offices typically. We're also kind of revamping this program so we can do it virtually. Now, you know, if there's a global pandemic going on, we want to be able to still promote these and really share these skills with job seekers. Again, as I mentioned before, you can revise your resume and cover letter, do mock interviews, meet new job seekers. And what's really great about it is it does count when you are looking for jobs. It does count as part of your labor work search record with the Department of Labor for New York State. So it's an activity that you can add to that quota or that work search record, which is really great. Some projects that job seekers might like to do that kind of sharpen their skills, especially in the healthcare industry. You can volunteer as a greeter at a hospital, and you greet people coming into the door, kind of directing guests where to go, you know, and helping them out and showing them the forms that they need to fill out, for instance, at a hospital or a clinic. You can also be a health screener, which is really in demand right now. You can assist a nonprofit with administrative or clerical tasks. This is a great way to keep your office skills sharp, or really like build up your communication skills and your office skills there. If you are savvy with marketing and communications, then you can help a nonprofit design their own marketing campaign. You can write for a website, their newsletter, or do what I did and work on their social media. And this is a great way for you to build up those skills, kind of get some great activities on your resume. And at the same time, you are helping the nonprofit get what they need, because it's really hard to find people to do these things, some skilled people to say do social media. A lot of folks don't know how to post on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. So it's really great to share their awesome services and use your skills to do that. This is also a really great activity for students too, because us younger generations, we know social media like the back of our hands. You can also, if you're looking to become a teacher one day or work with kids, tutoring students is a really great way to build up those skills, helping them with their homework, becoming a mentor, a big brother, a big sister, for instance. Those are all great activities that you can do to be as a job seeker if you're looking to build up on those skills. And you can find all those activities right on our website. We list all of those projects in our search page. Now, professionals are a little different from job seekers because these guys already have a job, but there are a lot of opportunities for them to, just because you're getting paid and you have a full-time job, you might want to do something extra. And a lot of professionals like to come to us because they want to do team building. They also want to develop their skills. Maybe they want to change departments or they want to apply for a different job. So they like to do volunteering activities that allow them to kind of flex their muscles and learn something new while also helping their community. Demonstrating leadership, this really across the board, volunteering is a great way to showcase your leadership skills. If you're itching for a promotion, but you want to kind of set yourself apart from the rest of the pack, volunteering to lead perhaps a campaign for a nonprofit or assist in some other way is a nice way to get those activities in there, talk to your boss about it, and really like elevate yourself and give you that extra edge that you need. You can also further your brand's initiatives if you're a company and you have a mission to help the environment, then having your team assist a park cleanup or do something in that regard, like that's a great way to show, hey, we walk the walk, we talk the talk. Like we say we do this and we're going out in the community and actually doing it. You can also meet other business partners, other companies, and other nonprofits and kind of deepen relationships there. And ultimately use your corporate power to influence positive change in your community. It's a really great way to showcase like you're behind your neighborhood, you're behind the community, and it's a wonderful way to be involved. So those are all reasons why professionals like to volunteer. We do offer a lot of programs for professionals. Some of the ones that we do are, just our corporate services. We have a great team at Volunteer New York who will see a company, see what their initiatives are and match them with a nonprofit that also has the same goals. And we pair those employees to that project, and they get to do all sorts of great things, learn new skills, and really help their communities. We also have a board boot camp program. It's coming up in December of this year, but we do it every year where we take professionals and we put them through the rigors of what we call a board service. If they want to go the next step in their careers and they really want to help lead an organization and join a nonprofit board, these workshops teach them about what is expected, what they need to do, what skills they need to have. It's a really great way to kind of set them, in motion, set their board goals in motion. And then at the end of it, we actually provide them with a list of local nonprofits who have told us that they need board members. And we say, here's this great list of candidates. And they actually pick which nonprofits they'd be interested in meeting. And then we kind of make those matches happen. So it's a really great program to help both nonprofits and professionals looking to build up their leadership skills. And then finally, Leadership Westchester, which is an amazing program. It's a rigorous 9-month curriculum. Professionals meet once a month, and they do these really great workshops, networking, and it really leverages their skills and what their goals, their personal and professional goals are to be leaders in their communities. So whether they want to start their own nonprofits or maybe they want to be the change in some other way. It's really thinking next level, big picture, but really getting into the nitty-gritty of that. We, again, will have links at the end of the presentation if you're interested in any of these things, but the links are also included here, so you'll be able to read about those programs a little bit more. And projects that professionals can do, they can do a lot of different things. We've had employees from companies before go out and build entire playgrounds for schools and youth centers. So at the start of the day, it was just blacktop. At the end of the day, there was a full playground there for the students for the next year. It's a really great fun project that they can do. They can, if they're financial savvy, they can do workshops for individuals who are not very good with their money. So teaching them how to balance their budget and all of that good stuff. Like that's really how they can lend their skills-based kind of volunteering to those kinds of projects. They could do outdoor work, managing trailways and gardens and parks. It's always fun. Last summer, I actually helped a corporate group plant and set up a garden where all the food gets donated to food pantries. And it was a lot of fun. We sorted seeds, we planted tomato plants, we built the stalks that tomato plants will grow on. It was really, really amazing, a lot of fun, and a good team effort too. They can also, something they're doing right now, we have some volunteers recording videos, reading lovely storybooks, and these videos get sent to organizations that work with children who might not have the best kind of nighttime routine, or maybe they're in a place where it's just not so comfortable to be at home. So this is a really comforting way to show that somebody cares, someone's taking the time to read a storybook to them. It's very sweet, and it's a really nice project for kids. And then finally, we do projects where volunteers can create STEM and literacy kits for schools. So those are really great educational programs, and putting the kits together and sending them off. It's a lot of fun. So these are really good projects that professionals and companies and employees can do. And finally, the last group that we see a lot of volunteers from are older adults. And you'll notice, if you retire and you no longer have a 9-to-5, you're at home. What do you want to do? Like, you want to use your time and your energy for something and to really contribute. Now you have time to do all those things that you might not have thought about doing. So seniors and retirees love volunteering. And here are some ways that they can volunteer, or why they volunteer. If there's a personal project they've always wanted to try, using their wisdom, their infinite knowledge to give back to the community. They've learned so much, and now they can help out in a variety of ways. To meet new friends and other seniors is a great way to stay connected to your community. Learn about services that you yourself might need. If you're a senior and you're curious about other programs that are going on in the community, you can volunteer for those programs and then ultimately make it a better program, more efficient. And then one day, if you need that program, then you trust it. And it's something that you've actually put your time and energy into. Staying sharp and staying active. We hear from a lot of our senior volunteers, like, I'm just bored all day long. What do we do? So we find activities for them to do, really fun things to keep them on their feet and to keep them entertained and active during the day. We have a great program for seniors. There is a federal program called RSVP, and each kind of community manages its own RSVP program. So the Westchester program is managed by us, which is a perfect home for it since we're already working with volunteers. This is part of AmeriCorps Seniors. And this is for any older adult who's 55 or over. They are able to get matched with activities that might really interest them and that work with their own schedules. So now that they're free, maybe during the daytime, we'll match them with activities that are happening during the day. But these programs are really awesome. They're not just kind of giving their time and energy out, they're getting something from it too. So we'll send them a free newsletter. They get birthday cards. There's annual recognition events for them. They can have travel reimbursements if they're over the age of 60 and they need to take a bus, for instance, or a train to get to their volunteer activity. We'll actually reimburse them for that travel. There's liability insurance, which is really important, and some just rewarding opportunities that happen when they're available. So they don't have to take away from, say, their family time on the weekends or work at night. They can volunteer right during the day when it's convenient for them. Some projects that we coordinate for seniors are, they're really fulfilling. I've actually done some of these projects myself. Reading Buddies is something I did too, along with the seniors last year. We went to libraries and we helped young kids. They picked out their own books in the library and they got matched with a volunteer, and we just sat with them and helped them to read. And it was so fulfilling because these children are just so excited to share what they're learning and what they're interested in, and you get to help them too. So if they stumble over a word or they're not sure what it means, you can sit there and really guide them and really help them. And it's a really incredible learning experience, and it's so fulfilling. And this is a great program that we do with seniors too, because they just love to talk to seniors. It's kind of like hanging out with their grandma or grandpa and just reading to them. It's a really fun activity. There's a program called Ride Connect where seniors who drive can give a lift to fellow seniors who need rides to their medical appointments or to the grocery store, for instance. So it's a really necessary program. There's another one called Seniors Out Speaking, where seniors are taught about, Medicare benefits, for instance, and then they help their fellow seniors learn about those things. It's really important to get, that kind of knowledge on health insurance. It can be really fuzzy. It can be really confusing. So having a peer talk to you about those benefits is really, really helpful. And that's a really nice project that we do for seniors. And finally, friendly visits. They often offer companionship to like veterans and other seniors at, you know, local veterans homes or shelters. And it's really a nice way to just, again, sit with your peers and share stories and just have a friendly face to talk to every week or however often you do it. So those are all great projects that we do. And they, again, can all be found directly on our website. So I want to take a little bit of time to talk about COVID. Of course, COVID's happening. We can't deny it. And a lot of folks asked me at the start of it, like, what can I do to volunteer that doesn't require me to leave my house? So a lot of programs had to shut down or go on pause or kind of reevaluate what they were doing and really transform and adapt to COVID-19 or any other situation. This is actually really useful to adapt programs so that they can be virtual. So there are a lot of programs that you can do remotely or virtually during COVID-19 that's safe for you if you don't feel comfortable leaving your house. I mentioned writing letters and cards for the sick or elderly. That's a nice way to show that you're thinking of people, and you can do it from your own home. You can pack the letters in a bag and then ship it out or drop it off at the organization, and then they will distribute those cards and letters, and you don't have to risk going out and seeing people in person. It's just something you can drop off or mail if you'd like. Tutoring students with their homework virtually. Everybody's doing e-learning now, so that's a really necessary program. We talked about posting on social media or designing flyers, using your writing skills or design skills in a way that will help a nonprofit, now that they've kind of transformed things virtually. Sewing face masks, really, really important and very popular program over the summer. We had so many face masks being sewn that essential workers could wear. You can also create your own donation drive if you notice that your local food pantry, say, needs some supplies, or local clinic, for instance, if they need cleaning supplies. You can help organize those drives yourself in your own neighborhood. You can set up a box if you want in front of your house and have people kind of drop off those things. That way it's contactless and it's very easy to do. You can even just call somebody to say hello and make sure that individuals are like talking to people and just stay connected and they don't feel so lonely now that they're all isolated in their homes. So these are really great virtual and remote projects that you can do. You can also do a lot of projects in the community. A lot of volunteers called me and said, hey, I need to get out of my house. What do I do? Like, I want to be safe, but I got to get out. So we found some great projects. Working at a food pantry, that's the #1 thing with COVID. We realized a lot of folks didn't actually have the food that they needed. And with grocery stores, it was hard to find food. So working at a pantry and accepting all the donated food and helping them to sort it and then distribute it, that was really, really important. Answering phones, stuffing envelopes, performing office tasks for those organizations that are still open and they need a little bit extra help to manage maybe all the services that they're trying to provide. Driving seniors to their doctor's appointments, really, really crucial. Now that it's election time, you can volunteer as a poll worker. That's a needed project. And so if you're at a local poll or if you know of your local polling station, you can offer to volunteer. Just be safe, wear your mask, of course, and practice social distancing. And delivering groceries to isolated or quarantined families. This is a really great family or friendly project that you can do with a parent or a kid. Hop in the car, pick up groceries, and just drop it off at someone's home. So there's a lot of stuff you can do both at home and in the community during COVID or any kind of situation where you're not sure what's safe or what you can do when during this global pandemic. Then as a final recap, I just want to remind everyone, like, volunteering is great, and here are the reasons why. You're helping your community, you're improving your health, your own health. It's benefiting you personally and professionally. You're strengthening relationships and creating new connections, and you're helping to make you and everyone around you happy. Thoughtful service, it is a no-brainer. It's something that everyone should be able to do, even if you're not getting paid, like the 7th grader I know pointed out to me. It's still a worthwhile effort, and it improves your life and everyone's lives around you. And finally, just a little shameless plug, but Volunteer New York is prepared to help volunteers connect in all of these ways. So if you are ready to be the change, get out there, make your mark on the world, and make a positive impact, I urge you to come talk to us. Visit volunteernewyork.org. You'll be able to create a volunteer profile. You can find our nonprofit database and see what nonprofits are in your area. You can search for projects that are going on right now. We add new projects every single day. I added one right before this webinar. So if you want to help out in New Rochelle at a park, you can do so. You can create teams with your friends, name your teams anything you want. We see the craziest names, but you guys can go wild. And finally, especially for students, this is really useful. You can keep track of all your hours through our website, and you can even print out your volunteering history if you have to show it to school, or if you're doing court-ordered service hours. It's really useful to get everything down on one sheet of paper. So our website allows you to do that. So come talk to us, and we will help you out with your volunteering mission. And finally, here is my contact information. Our office, despite the fact that I'm here right now, it is closed to visitors due to COVID, but this is our information if you want to, say, write us a letter, or later on, once we reopen, if you want to visit us for a personal consultation, for a volunteering consultation, that's our information. Call us, email us, and if you have questions for me, my email address is there too, so you can contact me directly if you have any questions about this presentation at all, or any feedback that you'd like to share. So I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. I'm excited to read all the comments I see that we have in the chat and all the great questions. And I want to thank Alliance for Safe Kids again for allowing me to tell you how you can be the change, how you can volunteer, and just really make an impact in your community. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jessica, so much. I don't know, I saw there were a few questions. I didn't know if we wanted to address them before we said goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, I would love to. I see two right now. So Patrick asked, do you think a lot of these virtual volunteer opportunities will stick around post-COVID, or will they shift back fully in person? So this is actually a really interesting question, because we are seeing a lot of opportunities that are cropping up due to COVID, but they are very much needed. So like sewing face masks, we realize COVID might not be going anywhere anytime soon. But even just with flu season, even if COVID disappears tomorrow, which fingers crossed it does, there's still flu season to worry about, and doctors still need, and essential workers still need face masks. So now that we've all learned how to sew, this is something that we really envision is going to stick around. So yeah, I do think a lot of these virtual opportunities will stay around. A lot of organizations are allowing their employees to say work from home now, and a lot of employees are deciding to stay at home even though their offices might be open. So there are tons of ways to volunteer virtually. We don't see it going away anytime soon, which is a great thing. It's more opportunity for everybody to volunteer the way that they want to, which I absolutely think is a benefit. It's a really good thing for everybody. I see Kira has asked, have you seen a change in volunteer engagement since COVID-19? Increase, decrease, stay the same? So, increase by a lot. We had, oh gosh, I'm gonna get the number wrong, but it was at least 100% increase. I wanna say it was way more, but I'm just gonna say, be safe and say between 100 and 140%, somewhere in between there. I was receiving, if everyone remembers the, Governor Cuomo's daily briefings, when they were happening, like clockwork, once he was done with his briefing, I would get a flurry of phone calls and emails from people all over the country asking if they can volunteer. I'm talking Texas, Virginia. I got a call from Puerto Rico from someone who said, how can I help New York? And I said, okay, calm down. We'll see what you can do, but it might be better if you volunteer locally, like you can make more of an impact locally. So it was a really great experience. Yes, increase for sure. Everybody wants to help out, which is so heartwarming and so wonderful. So yes, Kira, it went up and it's still going up. It's not slowing down. So I think that's a really great question to ask. And then finally, Kira also asked, what is your favorite volunteer activity you've participated in so far? Oh my gosh. anything outdoors has been really fun. Last year, we actually participated in a parade in New Rochelle. It was their Thanksgiving Day parade, and we painted signs to encourage people to volunteer. So we painted, volunteer, or we made hand turkeys because it was the Thanksgiving parade. And we did like really inspirational, cute messages. And we also painted the logos of local organizations that we work with in New Rochelle. And we just marched during the parade. We came up with our own chant. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of students came. Shout out to Ursuline School. The girls from Ursuline came in, and they really helped out with these the posters that we made, or the signs that we made. And so I would say that was fun because I love to paint, and so I painted this. Didn't do the lettering. We had a really great intern or volunteer, Baghdad, who did the lettering, but I was able to paint the colors on it. So that I would say is my personal favorite. But really, any activity that helps people in the community is the best, and that's all volunteering. So I think that's got to be my answer for that. And then I see I want to see the poll. Let's see who. So 10 people answered, and it looks like the winner so far, our most popular volunteer activity, was writing letters of gratitude to vets and soldiers. And luckily, close to Alliance for Safe Kids is an organization called United for the Troops. They are really fantastic. They're located in Mahopac, and they do this project. So if you want to continue writing letters of gratitude to vets and soldiers, I highly recommend connecting with United for the Troops. That is the project for you, because that's the project that they do. They do packing days. They send all their cards in boxes, ship them out to deployed soldiers, and it's the first thing that they see when they open up their boxes of goodies. And they might eat the snacks and be done with it, but the cards last forever. And so that's why they do these cards. So that is wonderful that that's your favorite activity. Of course, all the activities are great. So I'm really excited that everybody answered. And thank you guys so much for participating in our fun poll.
Your enthusiasm, it's just infectious. And I know that, you provided us with wonderful information and tools. And I just have to let everyone know that I know whenever I have a conversation with you, I come away from it excited about some new opportunity. So I truly hope, and I'm sure actually, that everyone who participated, in the webinar this evening and watches it going forward is going to feel the same. And I'm glad you mentioned United for the Troops, because we've been doing a lot of work for them. We've March, right away, our virtual volunteers, were in touch with us. And, that was one of the projects that have been going on for months. So, a shout out to them. We really do, like to do our part to help them. So, you know what? I'm so thrilled that you really talked about opportunities from, I love that 7-year-old comment, so we're talking about elementary school age students up to seniors, and volunteer opportunities, ways to get involved as a professional, as a family. And, it's good for the heart and soul and the community for everyone to get involved. So to everyone who participated, I wanted to remind you that you will receive a recording of this webinar. And you will also receive the list of resources that Jessica put together for you in an email that should come out shortly after we say goodbye. Also in that email will be a link to the registration page for #WalkTheTalk. And if you haven't done so already, I would really encourage you to register, create a team, have some fun, come out, walk safely in the community, and support the Alliance for Safe Kids if you're able to. And you're also welcome to visit us on Saturday at our 4th pop-up walk at Railroad Park, right in the heart of Yorktown Heights. We'll be there from 10:30 to 12:30, safely sharing contactless resources and walking together in a safe way and enjoying being outside together. So again, I thank you so much, Jessica, and for all that you and the team at Volunteer New York does. And thank you to everyone for volunteering your time tonight to be here with us. Thank you, and stay well. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.